Hello, this is Tina with Content Creators Club. I'm so excited to walk through this process of what it looks like to gamify your welcome email sequences so you can get higher engagement in your emails, but also create great user behavior repetition as you continue to send emails to your list. Now, before we kind of go ahead and get into this, my name is Tina. I help knowledge creators like you show you how to automate your business so that you can avoid burnout and focus solely on your zone of genius. And so, one of those things that we're going to talk about automation is the welcome email sequence and what that looks like. If you want to know the tool recommendations that I use to set up automations like this, but also hundreds of thousands, I feel like at this point, automations that I've created in the past, definitely feel free to subscribe and you will get exactly all of that information. And if it's a good fit, I encourage you to go ahead and join Leverage Creator, where we'll give you the support and the community to set these automations so that you can actually set it up in your business and get back your time in business. So, I really want to talk a little bit about what is the purpose and what are the things you need to think about when we create gamified welcome email sequences. Well, again, the whole point and purpose behind this is to drive engagement. So, as a person joins your email list, you want a person to engage with your email list. You want them to take action because here's a misconception that I kind of learned, and I learned this when I was at the Newsletter Market Summit by Matt McGarry in Austin earlier this year. And I learned that like welcome email sequences is the opportunity for you to share your best content. Why is that the case? Because when you share your best content, you can rapidly build that trust and the authority with your audience as soon as possible, right? The second thing is that when you create engagement, you kind of create repetition. So if a person is engaging with your welcome email sequence, they already know to click your emails, to continue to open your emails because you created that kind of ecosystem where people actually are used to continuing to receive high value from your content, right? And so that is why it's so important when you gamify your welcome email sequence, you are kind of preparing the subscriber to have a great experience with you, right? And so what we're going to be talking about is, what are the engagement tracks that you can utilize in order to gamify the welcome email sequence. We're going to talk about the reward automation that you could utilize to actually make this a possibility. And then the second thing is I'm going to walk you through a real world example. Now, I want to give credit where credit is due, but I took a lot of this strategy and inspiration really pretty much just from Kieran in his Better Letter newsletter. If you haven't already joined his newsletter, highly recommend for you to do that. But I really, I came back from the conference. I met him at the conference as well as other conferences. And so he has this great newsletter where he actually gives you like the nuts and bolts of how to put everything together. At this point, I'm just showing you what it looks like from a high level, taking it in action, right? And so again, credit is due with Kieran. So if you haven't joined his newsletter, definitely join. But we're really going to be touching upon what I took a lot of inspiration from was he mentioned like how Domino's has like this order system process and how you can apply that to your newsletter and kind of create like a gamified process for this. So let's talk about how do you actually do that. So when we think about what this actually looks like, the first thing that you want to think about are what are the engagement tracks. And then the way that I describe this is that we don't want people just opening and clicking links for no reason. Yes, we're creating that gamification process where like they get rewarded towards the end if they click a specific link. So that is important, but we just don't want that clink, not clink, we don't want that click to go to waste, right? And so we want to have a purpose behind the click. And so if a person is joining your email list and they're joining and taking part in this gamification process, we want to drive it to clicks to different areas, right? Maybe it could be, driving the click to follow you on social media, driving the click for cost per click campaigns. Like I do know example, like there's some really big newsletters that get paid per click in that's their monetization channel, right? And so if that is your monetization channel with your newsletter, perhaps you can use this gamified welcome email sequence process to drive clicks to your campaigns so that you can get paid per click. There's another example of affiliate links, right? So if you're driving links or clicks to an external source, then maybe you want to drive it to your affiliate resources or to your affiliate links. And then another cool thing that I think is really interesting is that perhaps you can drive them to either your offers or your referral system so that you can further take advantage of growing your list, right? There's tons of different ways for you to drive a click, but I would recommend choose the best way that works for you. For me personally, in my welcome email sequence, the way that I gamified it is I want people to follow me on different social media channels because I feel like that's pretty easy and it is like low commitment in the sense of if a person clicks the link in my email, a specific link, it gives them the call to action to follow me on LinkedIn, follow me on YouTube. If you haven't followed me on YouTube and you're watching this on YouTube, follow me there, right? And so let's kind of talk a little bit about what this looks like when you're creating this automation. So I like to draw visuals so you can see how this actually plays out, right? And so your welcome email sequence can be anywhere from like 5 to 7 emails at a time, but you really want to think about like how does that look like, right? So I have like 5 emails here, and so in each email I have like a banner similar to like what's mentioned here, like a banner, again something similar to that, and I say, this is, you're at this stage, click the link below. And so when they click the link, then they'll automatically be, either tagged or like just keeping track of like who clicks what. And so the goal is that like I want them to open every single email. And because it's gamified, they have the incentive to open every single email so that they can click the specific link that would be, driving towards, in my case, a social media following. And so I have a rule in my email service provider that if all links are clicked, then I want you to reward the subscriber. Now, when you think about rewarding the subscriber, it could be a lot of different things. I know some people, when they are doing this process, they can either, reward them with gated content, free, like a paid product for free, whatever seems best for you. First, personally, for me, I actually take a paid offer that I have of mine and I give it to whoever receives this, whoever, wins all the clicks and wins in this welcome email sequence. They actually get a paid product for free, right? But they have to do it within a specific time window and they have to make sure that it actually happens. So that's pretty much it. It's really simple in terms of like the high level. When it comes to the nitty gritty details, like there's so much strategy that you can go about with your welcome email sequence. And we talk a lot about that in Leverage Creator, where not only can you set up the automations, but do you really want to think about like the strategy of like the welcome email sequence in general, in terms of like what is the content that you're going to be talking about in the welcome email? What is, the templates or the tools that you use to actually like set this automation and tax these subscribers, all those things, right? And so if you're trying to figure out what that looks like, you want the support in the community, definitely consider joining us in Leverage Creator. And if you want any of the software recommendations that I use to kind of really set everything up together, then feel free to subscribe to the newsletter and I'll send you that information as well. And then if you are watching this on socials, definitely feel free to comment tools so that I can send you the newsletter link. But with that being said, let's kind of see the real world example here, right? So I like just set up this this process. I just set up like a couple days ago, so it's showing that like the open rates, the click rates are actually pretty good. So I just wanted to walk you through like an email that I personally created, and this is like the welcome email that we have. And so I think it's really cool to see this after it loads. But this is how I actually did it in my section right here. So I have this whole newsletter. There is strategy behind this newsletter in terms of like how do you get people to engage, how do you get people to click, that we talk about in Leverage Creator. But like I really want to show this banner right here. So like in the welcome email, they automatically like win the first 2 steps, right? Where they join the newsletter, they open the email, that's the first 2 steps, right? Now, in the next 3 to 5 days, they have to, be on the lookout again for this banner to follow on YouTube, follow on LinkedIn, follow on Twitter. And then if they do all those things, then they will actually get a surprise gift. Now, what does that look like in terms of, okay, I showed you the first step. What is the steps 3, 4, 5 look like? Well, what that looks like here is like now they're landing on the third step. So when they get the second email, the gamification process is on the third step, they're going to get the opportunity to follow us on YouTube. And so I have like a little image right here. I'm pointing it so that when people see it, they can, see very clearly the direction of like subscribe to the YouTube channel, things like that. And so what ends up happening is that, yes, I'm gamifying my email sequence where people are able to, know to engage with the email, things like that. But I'm also sending the traffic to my other social media platforms. So that has the potential for me to grow my audience size on different platforms as well. And I find that to be pretty cool. Now, when we think about like the delivery of like what does this look like, I can give you a little preview. Let's see, a little preview on how everything looks, right? I can give you a little preview of how the whole welcome email sequence looks like, but I can tell you that it's a very mighty welcome email sequence. I'm not going to go into all the details here, but like I really took the time to think about, okay, how can we reward people if they click the link? How can we have people get rewarded when they take certain actions? How can we follow up with them accordingly, or send them into specific, you know, funnels if I see a specific behavior come out, things like that. And so this is just like, again, a high level. There's so many details that come into this welcome email sequence, but like the whole goal of the welcome email sequence is, again, to do a couple things to drive engagement, for you to actually not only drive engagement, but to drive the click so that you can get a healthy, engaged subscriber, but also so that you can have people take action beyond email. So beyond email in terms of following you on social media accounts, taking a look into your offers, all those things, right? And so if you find that this was super helpful, again, join the newsletter and I'll send you all the software tools that I recommend for not only this automation, but for many more automations that I have that you'd be able to see on the inside as well. So thank you so much. And I will see you in the next one, and we'll talk then. Bye.